Hi 8th grade, this is Mrs. C. Today we're going to be using a strategy called the Notice and Wonder. This is a strategy that can help us analyze images, videos, and other visual resources and answer the question, what can I learn from this? With the Notice and Wonder strategy, you will be able to build an understanding of topics by analyzing images. And with those notes that you take about the images, you'll be able to use them to engage in discussions with your peers in order to build deeper connections about the topic. So what is notice and wonder? Notice means observing or looking at something. So when we look at something, we want to take notice of all the details. And when we wonder about it, we're thinking about all the questions that pop into our heads through the noticings that we're making. This is a way of analyzing any type of visual aid or resource, such as a video, picture, or artwork, in order to develop a deeper understanding of the topic that we're learning about. And we want to do 3 things in order to be able to apply this strategy effectively. 1, we want to look at all the details of that resource. 2, we want to think about the questions that are popping up into our head as we're looking at those details. And 3, we want to be able to use everything that we just collected within ourselves to share our ideas with our peers. Here we'll be using this image from days 9 to 10 in Unit 2, Nativism, Assimilation, and Cultural Preservation. When we notice and wonder, we want to make a T-chart. In our notebooks, in our journal, in a piece of paper, whatever we're using to take our notes with. A line down the middle, split in 2. In the first left-hand column, we want to write down notice, and here is where we're going to write down everything that we see. On the right-hand column, we want to write down wonder. And this is where we're going to write down all the questions that pop into our heads about the image. So to break down the notice and wonder strategy a little more, when we're looking at the details, which is our first step, we want to look at the colors, the shapes, the lines, value, the amount of something in an image or video. We want to take a look at text, if there's text in the image. When we're thinking about our questions, we often need to create questions that start with who, what, how, why, where, when. These are the kinds of questions that are going to probably come up again throughout the unit, or that will be later on answered throughout the unit as we get deeper into the topic. And then once our teacher gives us the go-ahead, we can briefly discuss these ideas with our peers. And sharing our ideas not only gives everybody an opportunity to kind of engage or think about another perspective, but it also allows you and your peers to make different connections based on what everybody's noticing and what they're sharing. When we're looking at an image, we want to take the time to observe it and think about it independently, because we want to first be able to collect everything that we might know or we might question about the image first. We want to write down as many details as we can about that image. And then we want to use the 5 W's and an H to create questions. So for example, when I'm looking at this image, I want to just take a couple of seconds to look at every single detail. When I first look at it, my eye is immediately drawn to this person's hands and what they're holding. So that can be one of my noticings. I see a woman with a spoon. Then I want to take a look at everything around where my eye is drawn. And here are many little tiny details. Now, I wasn't able to get every single detail, but maybe you will be able to capture those details that I missed, and I'm sure you will. And here, I wrote down, I see the color red, I see a bowl, could be a cup, I'm not sure. I see a man with a knife, and I see a woman with a spoon. There are many other details that I'm sure I'm missing here, but I'm sure you'll be able to capture those as well. Some wonderings that I was able to come up with is, who are the people in the bowl? Did the artist use the bowl to represent something? These are just questions that pop into my head, just curious questions. And when we're looking at an image, that's exactly what's going to happen to you. You're going to have all these questions pop up into your head, and your first instinct is probably going to be to raise your hand and ask. But remember, you want to do this independently first. You want to be able to just write your questions down. And then I'm sure your teacher will then give you that opportunity to share your questions out loud. And trust me, nobody's going to have the same question. Everybody's going to be able to share out all the questions that they made, and they will all be different. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and the Notice and Wonder strategy does a really lovely job of helping us put those words together in order to make connections and grow our understanding of the topics in our class.